Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, best breakfast food.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcasts should have a theme song. Podcasts should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hal, it's time to get up. It's time to get up.
I'm up.
Oh, good morning, buddy.
How did your parents, how did you, well, let me tell you how my father would wake me up. We'll start there. My father would come in.
Now, is this a daily thing or is this a every once in a while special occasion thing?
This felt like a lot that it happened quite often. He would, first he would, just like, be like, wake up. All right, wake up. And then he would come back in and he would turn the lights on and off.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that didn't work, I'd be like, leave me alone. I'm waking up. Then he would go and play with just start whatever devices were in the room that had moving parts.
Oh, geez.
He would go ahead and move that click, clack. He would do
now,
that,
did you,
start playing around with
did you
stuff.
hide certain things the night before? You're like, well, I really should put this wind up duck that shoots sparks out of its mouth away. That's going to be annoying in the morning.
It's not even that. It wasn't even like, I found a noisemaker. I'm going to rattle it around. It was like, this box opens and closes. So I'm going to open it, close it, open
Oh, that's ASMR. What's he doing? That's going to put you right back to sleep.
Well, we didn't know back in those days. We were very young. It was
I bet you hadn't even figured out time travel. I've said too much.
Oh, what?
Nothing. Keep going.
Oh, anyway, the last thing he would do would be sit on the edge of my bed and start shaking it and going, earthquake, earthquake. I think he enjoyed, that was like a fun time. That was a fun time the two of us had together.
Well, you had a fun little remembrance moment, right? Remembrance. Neither of us can talk right now. I don't know what's happening.
It's Remembrance in the mall.
Yeah. It's that one spot where you get all those different flavors of gum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've all been chewed before.
Yeah. It's just gum from bedposts. Now, bedposts, or the underside of the desk would be a better, name for that business. More evocative name for that business.
Yeah.
When I would wake up in the morning, I had multiple ways that I got, awakened. If my mom did it, which was very sweet, she would come in and she'd just kind of nudge my shoulder. She'd turn my lights on and nudge my shoulder and say, Marky, time to get up. And then she'd leave, and then she'd come back in 7 minutes later and go, Mark. And then she'd come back in 5 minutes after that and go, Mark Christian Gagliardi. And then I would know it was time to get up. My brother got up the same way every morning, which was he would sit up in bed with the lights off and sit there like a zombie for 5 to 10 straight minutes. Just sitting up in bed. That was his thing, was he just had to get the blood, he had to get vertical and needed 10 minutes to process being vertical. But what it looked like to a little brother was the devil has my brother and he's possessed him and he's just sitting up in his bed, not doing anything.
Yeah.
I also had a great Mickey Mouse alarm clock that played assorted Disney songs to wake up to.
Oh, I got as a gift, I can't remember. This was sometime in high school. It was a plastic cat holding a bugle. And its eyes, when you were up and the alarm was not engaged, the eyes were open. Otherwise, the eyes were closed.
Okay.
And then when the alarm went off, the clock was in its tummy. And when the alarm went off, it would play Reveille. So you'd hear and you'd hear, wake up, rise and shine, wake up. I threw that thing so many times that by the end of its life, it was like, wake up, Daisy. Yeah, I shut that thing down like it was Hal.
I like that it had a clock in its tummy, like that one guy in prison in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Well, the clock in his tummy was attached to a phone, which was attached to a detonator, but you know what I mean.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same principle. But there were a whole line of, there was like a cat. I know there was like a chicken.
Yeah.
I can't remember what else, but I would see them in the store, and whenever I saw one, I would go, "Oh, you,
I know you.
you have the worst job in the world."
You could have gotten one of
Well,
those.
that'd
You
be
could have gotten
fun.
one of those. There was like a softball. My brother had one of these. It was an alarm clock that was a softball that you would chuck against the wall, and that was your snooze. Then they made a new one that would run around the room. Did you hear about this one?
No.
It was like Sharper Image or Brookstone or one of those stores that makes, vibrating chairs. They came up with this thing, and it's an alarm clock that you throw against the wall, and that's the snooze. And then it hits the floor, and then when the snoozing is over, it just runs around the room. Like one of those little raccoons that's attached to a ball. You've seen those that just like roll around.
Yes. For cats.
Yeah. Oh, are they?
Sorry, yeah.
I thought, no.
And
They had them at the Human Toy store where I grew up. Like in the same pen as the crawling soldier wind-up guy. You remember the
and the dogs.
Yeah.
The dogs that look like they're sleeping and their stomach rises and
Oh,
falls.
creepy. Oh.
That only exists to be like, how did you get this miniature dog? This is the coolest thing. Did they breed these? How do they even get them? You
Ugh.
should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, now that we're out of bed and we've done our alarm clock routine, we've woken up, we've shaken the sleep out of our eyes. Time to slide down the old fire pole that goes from the bedroom right into the kitchen. Take our seats at the kitchen table. Hal, our question for the day. What are we having for breakfast?
Yes. This is the big question. This was asked by E. Clayton Harlan II, who we've had before.
Thank you. That's not a name you forget, E. Clayton Harlan II.
No. Didn't we imagine that he was a cartoon rooster?
Quite possibly. Either a cartoon rooster or a Civil War general for the losing side.
You know, the last time we did a topic of his, it was when we had Jordan on and we did best after party late night early morning food.
Yeah. I feel like I know where you're going, the second, which is what I'm just going to call you now as your nickname. I think I know where you're going with this. You like breakfast food late at night, and you were trying to figure out which breakfast food. And what we determined, I believe, was the classic diner breakfast, right?
It was the Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam.
And you want to know the other topic he suggested that's been on the show?
Oh, what was that? This is a three-peat?
Just guess. Yes, this is a three-peat suggestion.
I'm going to guess pancakes or waffles.
No.
Is it breakfast
The answer
related?
is yes, it is bacon versus sausage country.
All right. Look, I like your style, second. I like your style loving breakfast as much as you do. I am a big breakfast guy. I may have talked, you know what, now that this is our third episode from him about breakfast, I might repeat myself. I apologize if are a listener and you've heard me say some of these things before. But look, food shows do that. If you've ever listened to Lynn Rosetta Casper, she repeats herself. Don't act like you're so above us because you're on NPR, Lynn Rosetta Casper.
Also, this is our 218th episode, so
All right, the 218. What area code is that?
that is Breakfast Town.
Ooh, I like Breakfast Town. I am going to find out real quick. Let's find out where the area code 218 is. If it even exists. I assume they all exist, right?
You would think.
Yeah. Minnesota.
There
All
you
right,
go.
northern Minnesota.
We
Where
see.
Lake Wobegon is.
Oh, should I start breathing through my nostrils a whole lot?
I hope that's where you stop drawing connections.
I promise. So here's the question. Let's figure this out right off
Yeah.
of the bat.
And is that question S or S?
S
I'm
or S?
sending out an S or
No.
S.
Stop.
It's not sweet or savory?
It's not sweet or savory. The question is this similar to how we dealt with best late night food? We came out with a meal.
Mhm.
Are we looking for a meal here? Are we looking for one specific food item that we think encapsulates? Because the question is food, not meal.
I think that's more fun to try and pick the one like element on a plate that is the best breakfast food. I'll tell you this, it's going to be real tough to beat the humble egg.
It's true. I had a very similar thought, but we should try.
Yeah. Look, there are lots of different, okay. Now the sweet side breakfast foods. I like this, by the way. I think this is a fun game. The sweet side breakfast foods are like one dish things, like one waffle on a plate, one pancake on a plate, or a stack of pancakes, French toast on a plate.
Yeah.
There is the sweet breakfast meals have a centerpiece. The savory breakfast meals, I'm not certain they do as much. Like, what would you consider the centerpiece of a classic American diner diner breakfast? Like, the number one. What would be the number one on the menu?
The egg.
The egg. It's
the egg.
2 eggs.
Scrambled egg, your eggs. Yeah, you ordered like 2 eggs over easy. It's not a plate of bacon, potatoes, and toast, and then also there's some eggs.
Right.
The eggs are the centerpiece of the meal. Everything else is a side dish.
Does an egg make something breakfast? Like if you put an egg on a burger, does it become a breakfast burger?
No.
Okay.
No, I think that's a time of day. I've never had an egg on a burger. I guess I would eat it. It's not like I'm purposefully ignoring or avoiding it. I'm not super interested.
I'll tell you this. I've had eggs on burgers in 2 different ways, and I love both of them. 3, actually. Cause Fat Burger will put an egg on a burger. And they will do it,
Yes.
They will like hard fry an egg. I've also had an egg on a burger that was soft fried or over easy, so that yolk became like a sauce on top of the burger.
I think that's what I would prefer.
A third way that I absolutely loved, it's a Pakistani chef who introduced me to this. And her name is Fatima Ali. God rest her soul. She passed away. She was on Top Chef. She was wonderful.
Right.
In Brooklyn, she used to do the Smorgasburg in Brooklyn. And she made a burger, and she said, I was chatting with her about it. She said it was the Pakistani way. That was like, I don't know if it was a family thing or something that she had, or if it was like a straight up traditional thing. But what she would do is she would do a ladle of scrambled up eggs on a flat top. So it all just kind of went, diner style, where like the liquid egg just kind of flattens out. Then she put the burger patty on top of it and then fold the egg over the burger.
Smart.
So it was like a burger wrapper wrapped around, or a egg wrapper wrapped around this burger. I say that to give her mad props and a shout out and we hope you are listening to this show in heaven and knowing that you have an amazing Pakistani egg burger preparation.
Yeah, that is a really, really cool way to prepare an egg.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
And to put it in a burger, like 100%, cause when you were like, there's one more way, I thought, well, you put the egg around the burger, right? Like you have to do like an egg. I thought you would do it like an egg wash. But that method of doing it makes a ton more sense.
You just fold it. I actually tried it once myself and failed miserably at home in my kitchen, but I'm going to try it again.
I have a question around this, but I want to save it for later because I think I know what the answer is going to be. And it's more of a general question. It's not specific to this burger. So let's step away from that for just a second.
Are we stepping away from eggs entirely?
I want to step away from eggs entirely. So potatoes are not it. Are we going to assume that anything that is a side dish probably is not going to?
Look,
it has to be.
I don't know, because I don't know what you would consider a side dish.
Like toast is a side dish.
Is it? Avocado toast is a main dish. I've seen people who have, and that's the thing.
I guess it is.
Something, what is one person's side dish could be someone else's entire breakfast. There have been mornings where I've had a cup of coffee and a piece of toast.
Right, but that's like you're almost in diet mode and you don't have enough time to get anything else.
No, sometimes that's in maybe I like ate big the night before and I'm just not hungry for a big breakfast.
But when you eat it, you're like, this is the best breakfast I could possibly have. Is this slice of toast?
No, I'm just saying, like,
a cup of coffee.
We don't have to not talk about it just because it's not going to be the ultimate winner. Now, just a straight up bagel and cream cheese could be a side dish on one breakfast, but is definitely a contender for best breakfast, I think. Best breakfast item.
It could be a sandwich too. It could be like like egg, cheese, and sausage or ham or bacon sandwich.
Yeah, it becomes a wonderful bread on a thing. I do think it's fun to think about, like, if the thing is, it's got to stand alone as a breakfast item, then like just an egg does not a breakfast make, but just a bagel does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I can't imagine it being toast is my grandmother went on a diet once that was toast and tuna fish.
Ugh.
That was the entirety of the diet.
Really?
Like that was what she ate.
Was she allowed to make tuna salad out of the tuna fish? Like, could she
No, I
put a
don't
little
think
mayo
so.
in there, put a little pickle in there?
I don't think so. Also, I don't know why my grandmother was on a diet. She was never a large woman at all.
Oh, maybe that's why she was like constantly on whatever. I like the idea of a grandma that was just on whatever the new fad diet was.
It did feel like she slowly turned into Yoda.
Started saying words backwards. Her ears grew big. She turned green, shrunk.
Yeah, well, a lot of old Jewish people turn into Yoda. It's just sort of what we do.
That's fair.
But yeah, she was keto. She was Atkins.
Oh my
she did
God. I
everything.
love it.
She did not. She did not. It was like her doctor put her on it or something. This was in 1982.
Speaking of the early 80s and diets, I'm not sure I think this was the early 80s. Maybe it was the 70s. This was a classic entire breakfast for a while. It's garbage as an entire breakfast, just half a grapefruit.
Yes.
I feel like the half a grapefruit thing came from that book, The Grapefruit Diet. But for some reason as a kid, I remember seeing people whose whole breakfast, like on television, their whole breakfast was just them sitting with a half a grapefruit. We had a grapefruit spoon, for God's sake.
My mother would do half a grapefruit and she would put like sweet and low on it.
Yeah. Oh man, that is the single most 80s breakfast dish I've ever heard of. Did she have a tab with it?
Yeah, exactly. But, there's no way that's the best breakfast, right?
No.
Like, just like there's no way that toast. Now, avocado toast is different than toast. Because avocado toast takes time to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whatever the best breakfast is will almost certainly take some time to prepare. Like, I love cereal.
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much. I'll have a bowl of cereal anytime.
There's
no way it's the best breakfast though, right?
See, that's the thing. What criteria are we using? I'm glad you brought up cereal because best breakfast food, there are things that breakfast needs to be.
Right.
It needs to give you energy.
Okay.
It needs to be fast. And it needs to taste good and it needs to evoke breakfast. Would you say that that's fair? I'm not making a list. That was commas. That wasn't bullet points on a list I'm looking at.
I think anything you eat if you're hungry will give you some energy if you don't eat too much of it or too little of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
I guess that's true.
French toast is great. Or like a plate of pancakes is great. Pancakes don't give you, and I mean, they do give you some energy because they're carbs.
What do you mean they don't give you energy? You ever given a 5-year-old pancakes and then put them in the backseat of a car for an hour-long drive?
No, I'm not a kidnapper.
Or an uncle. They're very noisy, those kids. And if you give them a plate full of pancakes, your car will shake while you're driving.
But don't they eventually crash out and go to
That's
sleep?
true. The energy. Oh, I didn't say that pancake energy was long-lasting energy.
Yeah. So it's not real energy. And also you're really giving them sugar, right? Because they're loading it up with syrup. Like the way I eat pancakes, there's no way that, and you don't like a lot of syrup on your pancakes.
Minimal. By the way,
minimal.
Here's a, I guess it's a Philly, Tennessee difference. Do you like syrup on your pancakes? No, I don't like syrup on my pancakes.
Oh, you say syrup. Yeah, we say syrup.
Yeah, which is correct.
Is
I think. Syrup?
I think so too.
Like that's just Tennessean. That's like when those Brits did Oklahoma and they sang Everything's Up to Date in Kansas City. They've gone about as far as they can go. And I was like, we don't sound like that. Shut up, you jerk. And then I saw that guy on Game of Thrones and I was like, that's that jerk that said about as far as they can go. So I'm assuming his Westeros accent is also way off.
He's doing his Oklahoma accent in Westeros.
Yeah, you remember Arya and Sansa and Ado Annie Stark?
Yeah. Isn't that what Dothraki is based off of?
Yeah, it's all Oklahoma. The whole Dothraki storyline is just based off of Oklahoma.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what Daenerys' hair is? Curly. Come on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we're going to get letters. Still haven't gotten one yet. We keep saying that. We're just hoping to get someone to write us a letter.
We may. Guess how long it's been since I've checked our email?
No. I mean a letter.
Oh,
we should set up a P.O. box for people to just mail us actual suggestions. And that's the only place we're going to take our suggestions from now on. This P.O. box that we got.
Just send it to Mark's house at 2120.
Whoa!
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know about energy. I think it needs to be like a satisfying, if you had just this one item, right? Because it's a food.
Yeah. If you had just this one item, will it get you to lunch?
Yeah. Would you be satisfied, or would you feel like it needed something else?
Well, this is the word breakfast. You're breaking the fast. Is it
Yes.
the food that breaks the fast? Is a piece of toast going to break the fast? Probably not. Is a bowl of cereal? Sure. Will a bowl of cereal get you to lunch? Maybe not. Let me ask you this. You mentioned the breakfast sandwich before. Are we counting that as one food?
That would be a food.
A food. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that right there, I feel like, how does that not win if we're going savory battle? Because because then it becomes, you've got eggs versus bacon versus hash browns versus cheese versus eggs, bacons, hash browns, cheese, and toast. You know what I mean?
You know what? That does feel like a cheat.
Yeah. It feels like a cheat.
It feels like a cheat. We should bar it.
Now, well, that'll be another episode entirely. Breakfast sandwich or breakfast burrito, because there's a clear winner.
Oh,
how good was that burrito?
Breakfast burrito. Oh man, we went to this place. Mark took me to this place. He's like, they have the best breakfast burrito, and I was expecting like a stand, like a taco stand that makes good. Like I was still expecting a very good breakfast burrito, but the place that you took me was so good.
It is an unassuming little diner in North Hollywood that has autographed pictures of character actors on the wall, and every morning is filled with grips and sound guys.
Are you and Eric up on that wall?
No.
You should.
No, I don't know about putting my picture on a wall if I'm going to put my picture on a wall in Los Angeles, I'm going to do it at a dry cleaners, like a proper actor in LA. That's where autographed headshots go.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was a great breakfast burrito, but that's for another time. We're talking about specific items. I think a single item. Let me ask you this though.
Okay.
Would that include an omelet?
See, that's the thing. Does the omelet become, is the omelet a single item? That's the thing. This single item caveat that we've added, while fun, eliminates some real sluggers in this particular World Series. Like, you're eliminating the breakfast sandwich. You're eliminating the omelet because it's egg.
Frittata.
Yeah, the frittata. It's got extra stuff in it. Or I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we eliminate that or no?
Yes. Once you eliminate the omelet, you have to eliminate the frittata because
well, no, I mean, once you eliminate the breakfast sandwich, do you have to eliminate the omelet?
Yes.
All right.
I think if you don't eliminate the omelet, it becomes the frittata because there's way more. Right?
What do you mean?
Like a frittata is like everything you could find in your kitchen in some eggs.
I always think of a frittata. I don't know. I think the difference is an omelet is filled and a frittata, it's like mixed in with the egg and flat, right? So what I make, even though I fold it in half every morning, is technically a frittata. I've told you the breakfast that I make almost every morning. You've had it over here before.
Yeah.
Which is I take a bunch of vegetables, saute them in a pan, pour some eggs over the top and throw them in the oven. And then what comes out is, I guess, technically a frittata. Yeah.
Sure.
Wrap it up in a tortilla or eat it by itself. But yeah, that feels like a cheat. Though let's talk about omelets for a minute because we have the time.
Sure.
What do you go for when you go for an omelet?
I really like a plain ham and cheese. Like a ham and cheese is really good. Cheese and bacon.
Do you like it filled or do you like it frittata style where it's like they cook everything in the pan, then add the eggs?
No, I want it filled. I want it filled and folded. I don't like what it's like. We made all this egg and then there's stuff in between it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't feel like the same as when it's all like mixed together and every bite you can get a little bit of something. Cause a lot of times, like in a restaurant, if you get ham, it's cubed and then you like cut into the omelet with your fork and then all the cubed ham spills out.
And you like that?
No, I don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that. So you like it frittata style.
Oh yes. Frittata style. Yeah,
like the omelet station at a fancy hotel.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the cheese goes on at the end and then you fold it over. I did find out once how to make a proper French omelet.
Oh.
I'm huge into eggs. I cook eggs every day. So I'm always looking for new ways to do it. In a magazine, I saw a way to cook a proper French omelet. And by the end of it, I was like, wow, this took me 40 minutes. I am not going to do this again.
What is it that makes it a French omelet?
You cook it really low, really slow, And you've got to heat the pan for about 15 minutes on low first. And then you have to chop up cold butter really fine and mix it in with the eggs. Pour it all in the pan and then with a chopstick, you do little circles until it becomes like scrambled egg texture. Then you get a spatula, you smooth it all out on the top, turn the heat off, put a lid on it, wait like 6 minutes, and then roll it out onto a paper or put a little cheese on it, but barely any. It's real thin layer. And then you roll it out onto a paper towel so that you can gently, it's just a whole pain in the neck. But I'll say this, boy, is it delicious.
Didn't they do that in Queer Eye?
They might have.
Didn't Anthony take them somewhere where they either made that or he taught them to make that? And I remember they used it was like Bobby and Jonathan were there and they were using way too much, or like Jonathan and Tan.
I don't know. I haven't seen that episode.
Like, let's just use every egg here. And they made a giant mess.
Oh my God.
And I looked at it. It was like, I want to eat that.
Yeah, of course.
Did you feel like all the work you did was worth it?
Yeah. I mean, boy, it's good. And I do every once in a while throw down with a legit French omelet.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only thing I put inside, I'll try to get like French cheese and a little bit of thyme, just like a super thin layer of something French, so it has that sort of feel to it,
That's true. I will say the two other things I like in an omelet are spinach.
Oh, I love spinach in an omelet. I had that this morning.
And tomato.
Interesting. Do you like, so you like the diced tomato even mixed in with the egg, right? Okay.
Yes.
I like that. I like tomatoes on top.
I like that a lot.
Cause do you like a part here's a fun breakfast question for you. Do you like a part that stays cold and a part that stays hot?
No,
that's not an important factor for you.
I want it all hot.
Interesting. Okay.
Cause I don't want it to cool down the hot parts. It's like, you know what I mean? Like they're going to reach some sort of stasis with one another.
Man, I eat breakfast way faster than you, I guess.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know if you do.
Maybe, but like the cold cream cheese schmear on a toasted bagel or a cool avocado, on top of a hot omelet, cool sour cream on top of a hot burrito. Oh man, I'm getting hungry for breakfast now.
See, I put ketchup on top of an omelet.
Fair.
Generally. So that
you don't heat the ketchup up first?
No, but it's room temperature. It's not.
You keep your ketchup in the cabinet or keep your ketchup in the fridge?
Jennifer was putting it in the fridge all the time, but you don't have to refrigerate it. I don't think it says, here's what I remember. If it doesn't say refrigerator after opening, it is not in the refrigerator.
I keep everything in the refrigerator, but that's because when I was living in New York, Katie was afraid of bugs.
Sure. Well, that's like a real risk. You don't want to keep.
We kept boxes of cereal in the refrigerator in New York.
My first place out here, there were bugs everywhere, and I was constantly terrified. Like everything had to be in a sealed container.
But you got rid of the bugs.
You don't want to pour well, no. I mean, it was like a scuzzy building. So even though they would come and spray for them, we'd have traps out, you'd still see one once in a while.
Yeah.
And you know how it is when you see one, they're like a billion that.
Oh, sure.
Who knows how many you're not seeing.
Yeah. I once took a picture off a wall and like 40 of them scurried from behind it. Not at my current place. This was a decade ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was terrifying. And it was behind a picture frame. So I saw them all start to scurry and I just panicked and just smashed the picture frame against the wall to like get as many as I could in that split second.
Oh, and then there was a crunch and I bet a bunch of bodies fell, but then other ones, they start moving fast.
Yeah, we're talking about food. I don't want to talk about that. Or the fact that it shattered the picture frame.
Point is, omelets are disqualified. That's the larger point.
I think you're right. All right. So we've eliminated anything that is multiple things. Now let me ask you this, because this is a toppable thing, but it is a base in itself and also a star in its own right. If you have ever been to one of the greatest establishments in the southern United States, the Waffle House, and I'm talking, of course, about the hash browns. Scattered, smothered, covered, diced, chunked, topped, mortgaged, backed up, flipped, reversed.
Yep.
I'm not sure what else they do to them. They have this long menu of things that you can top your hash browns with at Waffle House. What's your thought on breakfast potatoes?
I like them.
Yeah.
I like them fine. I don't care for them with the peppers and stuff in them. I like them either cubed on their own, which I think those are
cubed.
Those are like the home fries. I also like them like where they're kind of stripped out, like they're kind of in the I always mix up which ones are home fries and which ones are hash browns.
Hash browns are shredded. This is what I think. Hash browns are shredded. Home fries are cubed.
I like hash browns. I don't like when there's stuff mixed into them.
Can I tell you, man, real quick sidebar?
Go ahead.
I really am going to be so terrified for this whole episode that we've had this entire conversation before, since this is our third breakfast episode just from this listener.
I know he just wants to hear how many of our stories.
I know.
Is this some E. Clayton Harlan II? I ask you, is this some sort of elaborate drinking game you've set up with your friends?
It might be. Like, if you can get one of us to say huevos, as many times as possible in an episode. Don't worry, Hal. We'll get to huevos rancheros.
Oh, thank goodness.
Maybe that's it. I don't know what the drinking game is. How many times we can talk about potatoes? But
yeah, like,
look, if we're listeners, we love you. If we're saying the same things over and over again, in this episode that you've heard before, I apologize. We will try to say new, unique things.
Welcome to a long relationship.
Yeah, I know, right? Just Hal and I sitting across from each other at the breakfast table going, hey, did you hear about, Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Oh, I heard a great joke at the office the other day. So there's this guy on a roller coaster.
I know that one.
Okay.
Hey, did you see in the news, they were talking about Paramount?
Yeah, I heard the Paramount story.
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah, that was yesterday in the news. Did you read today's paper?
No. I'll tell you what, why don't we take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll finish this.
Yeah, you said that 217 times already.
I'll be right back.
Hello, this is Amy Mann.
And I'm Ted Leo.
And we have a podcast called The Art of Process.
We've been lucky enough over the past year to talk to some of our friends and acquaintances from across the creative spectrum to find out how they actually work.
And so I have to write material that makes sense and makes people laugh. I also have to think about what I'm saying to people.
If I kick your ass, I'll make you famous.
The fight to get LGBTQ representation in the show.
We weirdly don't know as many musicians as you would expect.
I really just became a political speechwriter by accident, of realizing that I have accidentally pulled my pants down.
Listen and subscribe at MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcast.
It's like if the guinea pig was complicit in helping the scientist.
Thanks so much to the over 28,000 members who joined or upgraded during the 2019 Max Fun Drive, and to all of our monthly members.
To celebrate hitting our goal this year, we're putting the 2019 Max Fun Drive pins on sale for all $10 and up monthly members.
As in past years, you'll be able to get some pins and support a great cause at the same time. The proceeds from this year's sale will support the National Court-Appointed Special Advocates Association.
National CASA does amazing work for children and youth through a national network of 950 member programs. We are proud to be able to support them.
The pin sale will run from April 29th until May 10th. And if you're a $10 and up monthly member, your personalized code is waiting in your inbox right now. For more details, you can head over to MaximumFun.org/pins.
And once again, thank you.
All right, we're back.
Hi.
Let's dig into this. I don't think it's potatoes. I know that you can serve them a bunch of different ways, but if you mix them in if you cook them mixed in with stuff, how is that any different than like a potato omelet? See what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And the potato by itself is not versatile as the egg, and as like you think potato, you don't automatically think breakfast.
No.
You know what I mean? And I guess that becomes a criteria, and it's keeping the egg on top of this list for me right now. So I'm going to make a list of what we think are the big contenders, and then we can talk about them. We'll save egg for last because that feels like the Mike Tyson that you have to beat at the end of Punch Out.
Sure.
So pancakes, waffles.
Sure. French toast.
And
no, we've already picked a winner out of those, right? So would it be weird to pick something that wasn't the initial winner?
No, it has to be the waffle. Right. In our episode, pancakes or waffles or French. Did we do all three, or was it just pancakes or waffles?
It was all three.
All right. So guess what? Of the sweet, waffles is going to the finals already. If you'd like to know why, please go back and check out We Got This with Mark and Hal, episode number, fill in the blank, Ken.
50.
Is it 50?
Yes, that was our 50th episode.
Did you just know that offhand?
No, I have the spreadsheet up.
Oh, I still haven't figured out how to open spreadsheets, but you all know that. So I'm not going to say things that I've already said before. All right. We have the waffle, bacon.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sausage. Wait, what one, bacon or sausage? Do you remember?
I sure do. Oh my gosh. How could I
It was
forget?
sausage. Wasn't it?
No, it was bacon.
It was bacon. Bacon won.
It was bacon.
Yeah,
It was
I
bacon.
guess.
We always knew it would be bacon.
All right. So our contenders right now are waffles, bacon, eggs. I'm going to throw the bagel on there, having lived in New York City and knowing that is a breakfast by itself, and also cereal. So we have waffle, bacon, egg, bagel, cereal. What else needs to go on that list, Hal? Anything else?
What about oatmeal?
Oatmeal, sure. Do we now? Do we want to divide? You know, why don't we do this? We've got cereal. Okay. Let's figure out the winner from that category.
Honey Nut Cheerios, remember?
Well, no. I know Honey Nut Cheerios is the winner from that category, but the cereal category includes cereal, oatmeal,
cream of wheat,
which is just like weird oatmeal.
I love cream of wheat.
It's good. It's
so
weird
much.
oatmeal. And grits. We'll put grits in there.
When I was a kid, my mother would make cream of wheat and make it lumpy, because that's the best when it's lumpy.
Yeah, I do like it a little lumpy. I know that's weird, but I like it a little lumpy.
And then I would add, I wouldn't add sugar because I wasn't allowed to have sugar, but I would add sweet and low because I'm not a lab rat. So I guess the feeling was it would be okay.
Yeah, have as much saccharin as you want.
Yeah, a bunch of saccharin and like either half and half or milk, whatever milk we had.
Mm-hmm.
And you mix it together and then you'd eat that. And it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I mean, cream of wheat is delicious. Does cream of wheat beat oatmeal though? Oatmeal's tough to beat.
For me, it does. I like it better than oatmeal.
See, I'm definitely whatever your visceral response to that cream of wheat preparation is my visceral response to, maple brown sugar Quaker Oats, but homemade maple brown sugar. Like I did like the packets, but because they gave you the two ingredients that are the best part on the packet, I would just make my own and I would just make legit oatmeal and then add maple and brown sugar to it.
Right.
So that was my jam, hot cereal wise. Grits are interesting because grits aren't, you don't usually just have grits. They are clearly a side dish.
Yeah.
And not in the way that oatmeal and cream of wheat are not.
And they can be sweet, but they're generally you put like cheese or butter on them, right?
Butter. I did butter and sugar as a kid, but I did butter and sugar on rice when I was a kid. Like I'm from the South. We did stuff like that.
I would eat that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Butter and sugar on rice as a side dish. Yeah, that was pretty darn good. But of the cereals, do we want to go hot cereal or cold cereal? There's something nice about a hot breakfast.
Yeah, I think it's a hot cereal.
Like hot, when someone says, if a hotel on the sign says hot breakfast, you're like, oh, that's way better than a hotel that says, by the way, most of the hotels I stay at have a sign with movable lettering on them out front. That's a lot better than the hotel sign that says, just breakfast. Cause you're like, all right, hotel, when you say just breakfast, does that mean tiny boxes of corn pops and, individually wrapped Hostess Danishes? Cause that's not breakfast. So a quick on the run breakfast, cause you can do oatmeal on the run, not on the run as much, but, quickly, I guess.
That's not as important to me. It's more like, would I?
Yeah, we do voiceovers, Hal. We're not guys that have to get up very early in the morning and go to an office.
Well, I do.
I mean, I guess you do.
And I normally eat on the fly. Like I'll just get like
what am I saying? You run a game show you get up there at 5 a.m, don't you?
Well,
or you're an early riser because I am. My phone has started dinging at like 6:58 before.
I got a text from Todd Cooper at 7 a.m. and I was so happy. I was like, oh, I'm not the only one who does this. And then I realized he's a dad.
Yeah.
He's got like a little toddler baby.
And then I realized they were on the road and he was on the East Coast. It was 10 a.m. for him.
There were all sorts of problems with it. Look, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just trying to get my life together, but I don't have a lot of time to make breakfast. I'll just have a Cliff Bar, but that's not the best breakfast.
No, that's not the best.
If I had my way, I know what I would have every morning, But like hot cereal once in a while is nice. Jennifer will make oatmeal. It doesn't take long to make.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't think that we're talking about the best breakfast food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Like if you have hot cereal or cold cereal for breakfast, it's delicious. It's wonderful. It's fast. It's easy. It's a great, great thing. But like, is it the best? No, you're making a sacrifice for the speed with which you can do it.
Exactly.
So yeah, you know what? You and I don't have to fight over cream of wheat or oatmeal because all of the cereals are going to get eliminated.
Yes, they are. They're all going.
All right. So here's what I have left. Waffles, bacon, eggs, and the bagel.
I think the bacon's got to go.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Bacon has moved so far beyond breakfast. You know what it is? Here's what bacon is to me. Bacon, when it first started out at this school, didn't know anybody. So the breakfast table was like, hey, come sit with us at lunch, said breakfast.
Yes.
And they got to be friends. And then, I don't know what, the late 90s maybe? The lunch and dinner tables, which is where all the cool kids were sitting, were like, hey, Bacon, why don't you come hang out with us? And Bacon was like, oh my God, I'm going to go hang out with the cool kids. And the breakfast table was like, yeah, but we've got mathletes this afternoon after school. And Bacon was like, guys, look, I can't do mathletes anymore. I got to go. Didn't you guys hear Meatloaf is having a party tonight? And they're like, oh yeah, we never been to a party at Meatloaf's place because, we're breakfast foods. And Bacon's like, oh no, forget it. You know what? I'm going to wrap myself around Meatloaf and everybody's going to go freaking crazy for it.
They were like, hey, Meatloaf, are you going to have soda at your party? And he was like, there ain't no doubt about it.
Oh, that's so dumb. That whole run was so dumb.
Yeah. It was dumb, but the internet really made bacon like everybody's got, bacon, a bacon wallet, bacon pants. We talked about this before.
I've had bacon, bacon soda. It's gross. Bacon's a side dish.
Millionaire's bacon is great in San Francisco.
Yeah. Everybody go to, you know what? Don't everybody go because the line was an hour to get in anyway.
Yeah.
What's the name of the place?
No, I'm never telling.
Fair enough. But they have great, Millionaire's bacon. Oh no, we've said too much.
Yeah, I know. Just stop talking about it.
Oh gosh, there's an airplane flying overhead. It's coming to get me.
Uh-oh.
All right.
It's a side dish.
All right. I feel like
hear that helicopter.
I feel like the next thing that's going to get eliminated is the one that I added to the list and was kind of pushing for.
Yeah, I love bagels, but that to me feels like I don't have any time.
It's the same problem that the cereal and the hot cereals have. You eat a bagel with a schmear and a coffee because that's the fast version. And in New York, you got to move quickly.
Yes.
You know what? I just had a thought. I'm going to add one to this list. I'm going to eliminate bagel because I know what you're thinking. This could be a long shot.
Oh boy.
Because I know it's not technically on the plate.
Okay.
But this is a tougher question for us. If beverages count as food, then coffee belongs on this list. If beverages do not count as food, as they are often divided up into food and beverage, then I will leave coffee off the list. But you can't do an episode where we talk all about breakfast without mentioning coffee and tea. Specifically coffee.
Drinks aren't food. That's why it's called food and drink.
All right. That's your new ringer, by the way. Yeah, drinks aren't food. Okay.
Well, we all know it.
So then it comes down to eggs or waffles, baby.
Right.
Pros and cons.
Eggs are better than waffles, and waffles are fine.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Like waffles need something on them. Eggs, if you cook you can cook them with a little salt and pepper. But honestly, for me, I don't even need the salt and pepper. If you put them down in front of me, I know I like stuff on them, but I will eat them no matter, like, however you give them to me. I will just eat them.
Have we done best egg preparation on this show yet?
Yes, we have.
What one? Do we remember?
I'm pretty sure it was scrambled. Let me check.
Oh, you've got the list right in front of you.
I do.
Yeah,
scrambled.
This one might not have even been a contest.
No, we said the winner up front.
Yeah. Oh man, the incredible edible egg.
It's so great.
I know. We did kind of meander around a little bit because I think deep in our hearts we both knew that, like, yeah, it's eggs. Like, there are places that if you go in and you put an egg on a burger, they call it the breakfast burger. Weirdly, if I eat anything for breakfast that does not involve eggs,
yep,
I will at some point in the morning have to get an egg.
Exactly.
I'll stop at a 7-Eleven and buy the hard-boiled egg out of the basket at the front.
People of the world, did you hear that? It's so clearly the best breakfast food that Mark will debase himself by getting a hard-boiled egg at a 7-Eleven, which was made in some laboratory before either of us were even born.
Yeah.
And yet he will buy it because the egg is so important to breakfast. It just is. You can have it on its own. You can prepare it a million different ways. We didn't even talk about that. Waffles are like round or square.
Yeah.
Thin
or Belgian. Look, we did not give waffles their due. Comedically, it was more fun to just jump straight to eggs and eliminate them, but I feel bad about that. So waffles, I apologize. One day we will do Belgian or normal, which is my favorite game show in Belgium.
Okay, let's take a look at our next contestant.
Hiya, I'm Mike from Sioux Falls.
Normal.
Hello, I'm Jacques from Belgium.
Belgium.
This game show is terrible.
We are now canceled. Thank you for watching our first show.
Was that Lawrence Welk hosting?
Hello. Here from the Finger Lakes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look, it's the egg. It's my favorite food in the whole wide world, but it also happens to be the best breakfast food. It's the most versatile, like we pointed out, and it screams breakfast and is a main dish. Like it's the egg.
Yeah.
Come on. What do you even get out of here, E. Clayton Harlan? No more breakfast.
No more E. Clayton Harlan.
No more.
Look, this topic is closed, but you specifically, E. Clayton Harlan II, reach out to us on Twitter with a non-breakfast related topic at We Got This Tweets. Check out the Maximum Fun subreddit, or
you can email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our Facebook group and talk about your favorite breakfast foods.
Favorite breakfast feuds. Like this one.
Remember when, exactly, our other breakfast episodes of the Great Breakfast Feuds. Talk about breakfast foods in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast. By the way, I didn't say it before. Asked and answered. It's just in case any of you were looking for a backdoor out of this.
Gosh, sorry. I didn't realize that, I had ruined the whole official, banging of the gavel at the end of this episode.
It's fine. We still got it.
Fair enough.
Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kilman, and QA engineer Jen
And
Alba.
thanks as always to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song respectively. And thanks to you, our listeners, for giving Hal and I a third opportunity to answer Second's question about food. We like talking about breakfast. Clearly, we are passionate about breakfast. Keep the breakfast topics coming. And may we all wake up together on a giant feather bed in front of cartoons on a Saturday morning and eat our fill of our favorite breakfasts and of the official best breakfast, eggs. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned, audience supported.